All right, so now we're going to look at molarity. Now, there was a whole section in Gen Chem 1 where you practiced molarity and you did dilutions. And so you may remember that molarity is very consistent about their units. They are only ever talking about moles of solute on top, the small thing, and then liters of solution. As a little note, notice this is together. This is like a solution. Total moles, that's of the solution, and this is of the solution. Our final one that we'll talk about is actually going to be of just the solvent. So it's kind of important that I'm making a big deal about this. So you will probably look right up here and you can see, oh, here's my moles, 0.500 moles of KBr. And then you'll probably look lower down and you'll be like, oh, there's my liters of solution. And I'm going to have a nice easy number, so 0.500 divided by 1.684. And so that gives me if I'm keeping the 3 sig figs, 297, because the 9 up there rounds it up, molarity. And so that looks great. However, I will tell you that I don't know why people try to be tricksy. When you're actually working a problem like this, I gave you the liters because I know that's the most common format you're used to seeing molarity in. However, what they'll give you instead is you won't have that number to work with. They'll give you this number to work with. So let's see if we can work this problem with that information. So we already still know the moles of solute. That's great. That's the nice thing about the molarity is that it's really easy to see the numerator part. 5.00 moles of solute. And then now our bottom needs to be liters of solution. Now what we now have in the problem is we have a liters, but it's not, we need it to be like alone. So you can either work this off to the side on your own, or you can work it actually in the bottom of the problem. I'm going to show you both ways. So remember up here, we already figured out the total mass of the solution. So the total mass, when you add it together, it's the grams of the solute plus the grams of the solvent. So that's going to give us 1052.5 grams of the solution total. Now look, if you have grams per liter, it's not too bad to go ahead and get that into liters. I'm going to bring this over here and kind of squeeze it in. So this is 625 grams of solution, and then this is liters of solution. And so I can do that math, and I can do 52.5 divided by 625. And so that tells me that I have 1.684 liters of solution, which may look familiar because, yes, I already had worked it ahead of time. So on this 1.654, you can see then you can just plug it in right there and you can get the answer. So notice there was a little work to do to think through to get to the molarity on this one. You could also have just worked it on the bottom of the problem just because you know some information. Like I said, you already knew 1052.5 grams of solution were here. And then you could have gone ahead and you could have said, all right, there were 625 grams of solution in 1 liter of solution. And then those units would have canceled. And then you would have just put that in parentheses when you put it in your calculator. 0.500 divided by parentheses 1052.5 divided by 625. And then that gives us the 0.297 molarity. So now you've kind of learned a new way to look at how to solve for the molarity denominator.